Millions of people will watch their life savings disappear during the next market crash. They will log into their retirement accounts, panic, and sell everything they own at the absolute bottom. Even though everyone knows that every single market crash in human history has eventually fully recovered. So why does this habit of financial self-destruction never disappear? Picture a perfectly normal Tuesday morning. You turn on the television while pouring a cup of coffee. The banner at the bottom of the news screen is flashing bright red. The anchors look terrified. They are using words like catastrophe, plunge, and meltdown. They see that trillions of dollars have been wiped out overnight. You quickly open your financial app. The screen loads, and a cold knot immediately forms in your stomach. Your account is down 20%, then 30%. The hard-earned money you spent years accumulating seems to be vanishing right before your eyes. Your heart rate elevates, your palms sweat. You decide you have to stop the bleeding. You chop the screen, hit sell, and move your remaining balance entirely into cash. You lock your money away where the market can no longer hurt it. You breathe a massive sigh of relief. You feel like you survived a disaster. But a strange, invisible trap has just been perfectly executed. We are taught from a very young age that when the stock market crashes, wealth is completely destroyed. We picture our money simply vanishing into thin air, like smoke leaving a chimney. We hear the media say that billions of dollars were wiped out in a single afternoon, and we imagine a giant bonfire of cash. But wealth is not actually destroyed in a crash. It simply changes hands. Imagine you own a massive, beautiful house in a quiet neighborhood. One day, the neighbors suddenly panic about the economy. Everyone decides that houses are suddenly worth half of what they were yesterday. Did your physical house disappear? Did the roof cave in? Did the walls evaporate? No, the house is exactly the same. The wood, the bricks, and the land are perfectly intact. The only thing that changed was the invisible price tag hanging on the front door. This is exactly what happens to the global stock market. When the market crashes, the productive companies of the world are still producing. The factories are still running, the software is still being used, the products are still sitting on the shelves. Only the price tag has suddenly changed. People don't make bad money decisions. They respond to the environment around them. And the environment during a recession is a masterpiece of psychological warfare. The financial media networks feed entirely on your panic. Fear keeps you glued to the screen, which artificially boosts their advertising revenue. The system intentionally creates an atmosphere of absolute catastrophe to capture your attention. Most people disagree about this. If you ask the average person on the street, they will tell you the stock market is just a rigged casino designed to steal from the working class. Some economists argue the opposite, claiming it is the most efficient wealth-building machine ever created by humanity. Here is where people are split. Is a market crash a tragedy, or is it an opportunity? To find the answer, you have to look at a recession from a completely different economic position. While the middle class is absolutely terrified watching their net worth plummet, the ultra-wealthy are sitting quietly, holding massive amounts of capital. They are not watching the screaming news anchors, they are watching the price tags. To a retail investor, a 30% drop in the market feels like the end of the world. But to an institutional investor, a 30% drop simply means that the greatest, most profitable companies on earth are suddenly on sale for 30% off. To them, a recession is not a tragedy, it's the clearance sale of a lifetime. But here is the brutal mechanical reality of the global economy. For the wealthy to buy high-quality assets at a massive discount, someone else has to sell those assets at a massive discount. They cannot buy shares out of thin air. They need a willing participant on the exact opposite side of the trade. They need you. The system desperately needs the middle class to panic. It relies entirely on your biological instinct for loss aversion. When you feel financial pain, your brain triggers a primal fight or flight response. You flee to the perceived safety of cash. And the exact second you hit sell, an institutional algorithm or a wealthy investor immediately buys your shares for pennies on the dollar. The biggest financial advantage isn't intelligence, it's which game you're playing. The middle class is playing a game of emotional preservation. They want the number on the screen to feel safe today. They want to sleep soundly tonight. The wealthy are playing a game of asset accumulation. They want to own as much of the physical and corporate world as mathematically possible for tomorrow. Let's look at the actual math of what happens when you let fear dictate your actions. When the market eventually recovers, and history dictates that it absolutely always recovers, the wealthy ride the massive wave back up. The assets they bought from panicked sellers double or triple in value, multiplying their net worth exponentially. But you are sitting safely in cash. You protected your remaining money, but you permanently locked in your losses. You gave up your ownership stake. You completely missed the recovery. But the real reason this wealth transfer happens so smoothly is much stranger. It is because of how society teaches us to view risk. We are told that investing in the stock market is inherently risky, and that holding cash under the mattress or in a bank account is inherently safe. But what actually happens during a massive economic crisis? Central banks panic right alongside the public. To fix the broken economy, governments print massive amounts of new currency and artificially lower interest rates. They flood the entire system with new money. When the dust finally settles, all that newly printed money flows directly into physical assets. Real estate prices skyrocket, stock prices soar. If you retreated to cash during the crash, your money did not just sit there perfectly safe. Its purchasing power was quietly, violently diluted by the very government trying to save the economy. Wealth is often less about effort and more about position. If you position yourself in cash during a panic, your lifetime of effort is completely erased by inflation. But if you position yourself in assets, the exact same macroeconomic system that caused the panic actually pushes your net worth into the stratosphere during the recovery. Let's slowly reveal the invisible forces holding this entire machine together. The incentives of the financial media are built to keep you terrified because terror guarantees viewership. The structures of modern retirement accounts and trading apps make it incredibly frictionless for you to liquidate your life savings with a single emotional tap on a glowing screen. The social pressures of seeing your friends, family, and coworkers panic sell convince you that you must do the exact same thing to survive. And the probabilities dictate that human emotion will almost always override cold, calculated logic when survival feels threatened. The people who lose everything during a market crash are not stupid. They are not reckless. They are not failing to understand how the world works. They are following the system perfectly. They are doing exactly what the economy requires them to do in order to facilitate a massive, silent transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient. They are willingly handing over the keys to their financial future because the environment convinced them the house was burning down. A recession is simply a mirror. It reflects exactly how you view money. You can view it as a scoreboard that dictates your emotional state, rising and falling with the daily news cycle. Or you can view it as a tool used to capture ownership of the world. The next time the market plunges, the next time the headlines scream catastrophe, and the next time the red arrows point dangerously downward, remember the mechanical reality of the room you are standing in. The wealth is not evaporating. The companies are not disappearing. The money is simply packing its bags and moving to an owner who understands the rules. You can be the one panicking at the absolute bottom of the cycle, handing your assets over for a fraction of what they are worth. Or you can recognize the illusion, Hold your ground and patiently wait on the other side of the trade. The clearance sale is coming. The only question is who you will be buying from.